Hello everyone, today I will talk about the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream is one of the major ocean currents that plays a crucial role in Earth's climate and ecosystem. It originates the Gulf of Mexico and flows through the eastern coastline of the United States, then crosses the Atlantic Ocean and becomes the North Atlantic Current. What is the Gulf Stream? It is a warm, fast-moving current within the North Atlantic Ocean, driven by wind patterns and Earth's rotation. Flows from the Gulf of Mexico along the eastern US to Europe. It can travel up to 2.5 meters per second, covering up to 100 kilometers. The Gulf Stream is caused by a large circulation system known as the mid-latitude circulation and strong winds. There are five mid-latitude gyres on the Earth, which are North Pacific Gyre, North Atlantic Gyre, South Atlantic Gyre, South Pacific Gyre, and Indian Ocean Gyre. The Gulf Stream is part of the North Atlantic subtropical gyre, formed by the confluence of the tropical water brought by the North Atlantic equatorial current from the east, and warm water brought by the Florida current from the Gulf of Mexico. So, what are the formations of the Gulf Stream? Firstly is the wind patterns. The trade winds blow westwards near the equator, push warm surface waters westward across the Atlantic Ocean, and the westerly blow eastwards at the mid-latitude, push the current eastward across the Atlantic. These wind patterns applies a stress to the subtropical ocean surface with a negative curl across the North Atlantic Ocean. This, wi- this warm water accumulates in the Mexico Gulf, creating the initial flow of the Gulf Stream. And second is Coriolis effect. Earth's rotation deflects the movement of water to the right in the north hemisphere. This deflection steers the Gulf Stream northward along the east coastline of the United States and then eastward across the Atlantic toward Europe. The last thing is the thermohelian circulations. The warm surface water cools and sinks at higher latitude, completing the thermohelian circulation cycle. So, what are the relationships between the Gulf Stream and the global ocean circulations? The Gulf Stream is a key surface current in the North Atlantic, moving warm, salty water from the tropics toward the Arctic. As the Gulf Stream flows northward, it loses heat to the atmosphere because the water evaporates on the surface. The evaporation increases the salinity at the ocean surface. With the salinity increase, it leads to an increase in density and thus to a vertical flow of the water, resulting in increase in density of the cool water. It becomes heavier and sinks toward the ocean floor. In regions near Greenland, the cold, dense water sinks to form the North Atlantic deep water, which is represented by blue arrow in the right diagram. The current becomes cool and dense and begins to flow south, eventually moving along the seafloor all the way to Antarctica. The sinking North Atlantic deep water triggers a chain reaction that pulls warm surface waters from tropics via the Gulf Stream. The dense water moves as a deep current southward along the Atlantic Ocean floor, eventually joining other global currents. It circulates into the Indian and Pacific Oceans, where it rises and warms, completing the loop. This continuous movement of warm surface water and cool deep waters regulating heat distribution worldwide. Let me talk about the impact of the Gulf Stream on weathers. The first impact is the cyclones. The warm water and temperature contrast along the edge of the Gulf Stream often increase the intensity of cyclones, also known as the hurricanes. The second impact is the European weather. The Gulf Stream transports warm water from the tropics to the North Atlantic. This warm water releases heat into the atmosphere as it flows northeastward, particularly as it transitions into the North Atlantic Drift near Europe. This heat warms the air above, creating a milder climate in Europe compared to the other regions at similar latitude. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you all for watching.